Hello and welcome to Groovy Games, a video game podcast. This is episode 5. My name is Andrew Meister. Thank you for your continued support. Really does mean a lot to me. If you feel you want to support us even further, please go visit our site, engage in the forums, check out our merch, share the podcast on social media. I think that's it. I think I covered that all. Yeah, you certainly don't have to, but I thank you. Pretty crazy day. Well, not day, week, I should say, as far as like video game news goes and stuff like that. But I guess I should start with the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. I already talked about that a little bit last week, I think. But the game is tomorrow. Pretty pumped, obviously. I already predicted that the Eagles would win. Nothing's changed my mind about that. Yeah, I think we win. I'm not going to predict the score. I'm not going to say how much we win by, just because I always get that stuff wrong. I feel like the Chiefs are a really great team, but as I've said in the past, I don't really feel particularly special about the Chiefs this year. I just don't feel like they have a very special team this season. And not to say that they're bad, because they've been extremely good. It's just they're missing that thing. You know what I mean? Like, they're missing that one thing that makes you go, yeah, I think I do believe in them. Yeah, it's kind of the same way how I felt about when we faced the Patriots in 2018. I didn't feel like that Patriots team was very good at all. And in fact, I think a lot of people said that was the worst Patriots team that ever went to the Super Bowl, even though Tom Brady put up like almost 500 yards against us. So, but yeah, I feel like the Eagles are a better team, physically, mentally. I just feel like that. I feel like that defense is just, it's too good. It really is too good. And as far as Jalen Hurts being able to throw the deep ball on certain areas and stuff like that, like obviously he's still going through a little bit of an injury there, but I don't think it really matters if he has to throw the deep ball or not, because he's so versatile with his legs that he doesn't have to throw it that much. I really don't think he has to. And it's not like his running backs are a bunch of slouches. Like, Miles Sanders is amazing. Boston Scott shows up big in big moments. And even Kenny Gainwell has stepped up and has proven himself, in my opinion, that he's very clutch in playoff moments. So I'm expecting a big game from the running. I'm expecting big things from the run game. And the way that this Eagles team's been kind of rolling on teams is, all right, we can hit you with the passing game if we need to, but our bread and butter is going to be that run game. And it's a nasty run game. And it's a run game that, yeah, we might get away from it for a couple of plays or whatever, but when we pop one of those big runs, I mean, it pops. And then, that consistency to just wear teams down in that second half on third downs and stuff like that, I mean, it's huge. It's huge. So I just think that the Eagles are built to win the Super Bowl. And that'll be that. But I'm very excited. Obviously, the Super Bowl is a great time all the time. The commercials are always good. Although I have to say, some of the Super Bowl commercials in the past years have been kind of depressing. I don't know if that's just me noticing that they're trying to sell you more life insurance and this and that or whatever. But yeah, I want to see better Super Bowl commercials this year, and funnier ones at least. And then as far as the halftime show goes, I think Rihanna's playing. I don't have a problem with Rihanna performing or anything like that. I don't hate her music. I'm not a huge Rihanna fan, but I would say as far as Super Bowl performances go, that's probably as safe as it can get with Rihanna. And I hope they sprinkle in a couple like surprise guests here and there. That would be really fun. All right. Enough football talk though. Let's get into the news. I only have 3 items on the news this week, but 3 beefy stories. Well, I would say 2 beefy stories. One is kind of mid, but I guess we'll start with the first story, which is kind of mid. The PlayStation Plus games for the month of February. Now, PlayStation's come out and said that they're not doing. What are they? They're ending the PlayStation Plus service or whatever, but it doesn't mean that they're taking anything away. They're basically just getting rid of the name, it feels like, and they're just rolling all of the benefits into the new PlayStation Premium Essential stuff that they've been doing. So yeah, I think we're still going to get free games. You're still going to be able to play online. Nothing changes. I just feel like the name is just going to change. But anyway, so for the month of February, these are the free PlayStation Plus games that all PS4 and PS5 subscribers can get, and this will be available now. They're available now. So from February 7th to March 6th, please download these, or you can claim these games. You don't necessarily have to download them. All right, so on PS5, PS4, you're getting Destiny 2 Beyond Light, that big expansion. On PS5, PS4, you're getting Ollie Ollie World, which I heard is really good, so I'm excited to try that. On PS5, PS4, you're getting Evil Dead, the game. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. I love the movies. I'm excited for Evil Dead Rise that's coming out. I wasn't sure about picking this video game up and paying for it because it looked like a mostly online multiplayer game. But from my own research and from what I've heard, you can play it by yourself. So I might have to download this and start playing it if I'm brave enough. Yeah, I might have to give it a try. And then the last game, which is coming out to PS4, but if you have a PS5, you can download this backwards compatibility as well, is Mafia Definitive Edition. So, yep, those games are available from February 7th to March 6th. Go claim those games before they disappear on you. You have about a month to do so. All right. The next topic of news is Hogwarts Legacy is putting up some pretty huge numbers. This article coming from GameSpot, written by Eddie. Oh boy, I'm always so bad with last names. Makooch. I'm so sorry. I fucked that up so bad. Eddie McCook. You know what? Either way, it doesn't sound good. We'll just say Eddie M. Eddie M. All right, so I'll just read this paragraph here. Mostly, it's getting glowing reviews, and then for some reason, there's a bunch of people that... Well, it's not for some reason. There's a reason why people are review bombing it, basically, but I guess I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'll just read this paragraph here. On Steam, Hogwarts Legacy reached more than 408... I'm so bad with numbers and how to like say them out loud or whatever. I probably should have paid more attention in math class. 487,000 players to surpass Fallout 4, which reached a peak of 472,962 players. It has now reached the second highest peak concurrent player record for a paid single player game, only behind Cyberpunk 2077. It's kind of impressive because these numbers came out before the game even came out. I mean, yeah, this was written on February 8th. The game came out on the 10th, which is yesterday. And the reason why it's, doing so well right now is because WB Studios is I think they're owned right now by EA. I think that's what it is, or EA has a deal with them or something like that. They have a Hogwarts Legacy is a part of their EA All Access thing or whatever, where you get their new games a couple days early. I think it's like 72 hours early or something like that. And Legacy was one of them, and people have been streaming it on Twitch and stuff like that. And it's gotten so many viewers, players, and the game hasn't even fully come out at this point on the 10th or whatever. It's kind of crazy because I remember when Fallout 4 came out, that was huge. I mean, everyone was playing Fallout 4. And yeah, even though the game was kind of buggy and stuff like that, it was like a charming kind of buggy, you know what I mean? It's like I remember in Fallout 4, it was like in the very opening area, you come out of the vault or whatever, and you can basically go wherever you want to. So I was like, oh, I'll just run to the right, and there's like these wooded areas. And I remember I fought some enemies in these wooded areas, and every time I would use the left trigger to aim down my sights or whatever, for some reason my character would like zoom across the area of battle, like a couple feet. Like I would just skip right past, and I would have to like turn around and shoot the enemies that I ran past or whatever. It's just very strange bugs, but Fallout 4 was very charming with its bugs. And I feel the same way with Hogwarts Legacy. Even though the game has a couple of bugs here and there, it's kind of charming. And because the world is like magical and stuff like that, it actually kind of like I guess it kind of adds to the bugginess, if that makes sense. Or yeah, I guess it makes the bugginess make sense, because you'll just see like random NPCs in like the T pose, just hovering above in the grand hall or whatever, and you're just like, that's probably not supposed to be there, but it's funny because it almost feels like it should be there. But yeah, let's see, what else is on this site. I think that's pretty much it. I'll read this real quick. On Twitch, Hogwarts Legacy reached 1.2 million peak concurrent viewers, surpassing the record for a single-player game set by Elden Ring in 2022, which had the record of 907,813 viewers. Pretty interesting. It's really cool to see a single-player game like Hogwarts Legacy getting a lot of love as far as sales and as far as views on Twitch and stream goes and stuff like that. Because I feel like so many people are just all about multiplayer games and this and that or whatever. And we never, well, I shouldn't say we never. We don't get like a whole bunch of like big single player releases that studios are dedicated to. You know what I mean? Like WB Studios is putting this game out right now, which is full-on single-player only game, and it's doing extremely well. Meanwhile, they have another game in the pipeline, that Suicide Squad game, that looks like it's going to be multiplayer-centric, and it doesn't look like it's getting a whole lot of love from people. So I just find it interesting that a lot of the better reviewed games right now are from single player games that are huge and expansive, kind of like this one. So yeah, good job for Hogwarts Legacy. And I'm not going to really talk too much about the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling and stuff like that, mostly because I really just, I'm not educated on it fully. And I honestly don't really want to talk about all that stuff, because I don't feel like, I feel like Harry Potter is bigger than J.K. Rowling. It's kind of like Star Wars. Like Star Wars is bigger than George Lucas. So it's like George Lucas could go and like, I mean, he's not going to, because he seems like a nice guy, but George Lucas could go and like slaughter a village and people would still love Star Wars. Now, of course, you'll have your people that are going to boycott Star Wars and this and that, even though he sold it. It's kind of a different kind of a different comparison or whatever, because J.K. Rowling still owns the rights to Harry Potter in a sense. But yeah, I mean, J.K. Rowling is kind of polarizing if you pay attention on social media, but I really don't pay attention to celebrities or anything like that on social media. I didn't even know that people had a problem with her until a couple of the video game podcasts that I listened to were talking about it. Um, yeah, but I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter, if someone who created a property is being a shithead in real life. That shouldn't really affect, the sales or something like that of something that another studio is doing with your property. Um, but yeah, the one video I saw that basically sums everything up and basically is like the ultimate mic drop. So on YouTube, if you type in Mighty Keef, Keef, he did a Hogwarts Legacy video where he basically calls out all the people that are getting mad at people playing Hogwarts Legacy, and it's very it's basically all you need to say. It's all you need to say. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, Hogwarts Legacy doing great. I actually started playing it myself, so I'll talk about that in a little bit here. But yeah, the last piece of news that I want to talk about is the Nintendo Direct. It was the first Nintendo Direct this year, and it was massive. A lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff that fans were really basically waiting on, but didn't even know that it was really coming. That's kind of like Nintendo's thing is like, yeah, about like the normal games that are coming out and stuff like that, but every now and then you get like a surprise. It's like, oh snap, like we weren't really expecting this. So all right. So with Nintendo's Direct, they did share some more details about The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Um, it looks really, really good. I'm excited to play it. I haven't watched the video that they put out for it. I didn't watch the full Direct, basically because I just don't want to spoil anything about that game for me. I don't like. I'm seeing an image right now, and I wish I didn't see that. So there's that. But I don't know if that's a cutscene or if that's actual gameplay. So we'll see. Oh, and apparently people are mad that this game is going to cost $70 when it launches in May. I'm sorry. What the hell did you expect Nintendo to do? Like, really? What did you expect? Yeah, their games are $60 right now. And Microsoft and Sony are bumping their prices up to $70, I think. Or at least Sony did. But did you really think that Nintendo wasn't going to do this? Of course they are. Of course they were. Eventually. And especially with a big game like Zelda. And if you think for a second that the next Mario game isn't going to cost $70, you're out of your mind. Of course it's going to cost $70. I'm sorry. I don't understand what people didn't... why people are so mad about that. And guess what? All the people that are mad about that, you're still going to buy it. You're still going to pay $70 for it because it's fucking Zelda. All right, enough of that. And then the next game they talked about was Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. I'm so pumped for Advance Wars. I love this game on the GBA, and I'm super pumped to play these two games again when it comes out for the Nintendo Switch. That's all I really have to say about that tactical game. It's right up my alley. The big news for the Nintendo Switch is Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games are coming to the Nintendo Switch online service. So as of right now, you can play NES games. Well, you can play some NES games, some Super Nintendo games, some N64 games, some Sega Genesis games, some... There's another one, I think. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all of them right now. But now they added Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. And when I heard about the news, I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome, but it's probably like stupid-ass games that nobody would like. But listen to the games that are coming, that will be available at launch for this. Does it give a date, maybe? I don't see it. I think I think they start now. Maybe I probably should have looked that up, but that's okay. So the games that are going to be at launch for this, Tetris, Metroid 2, Return of Samus, which is huge. I was blown away that they were bringing this one. I love this game. Wario Land 3, another fucking awesome game. Um, and then I think they're also bringing later on down the line Mario Kart Super Circuit and Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. There's other games that they announced. Let me see if I can find like the full list. Nintendo Online. I want to see if I can find like the full list. Oh, here. I guess there's no place better to go than the official Nintendo website. All right, let's see what they got. Let's see. Come on, computer, load a little bit faster. Load a little bit faster. Do 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 do. All right. So I got the full list right here. Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, awesome game. Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, it's a pretty good game, I think. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, fucking awesome game. Mario Kart Super Circuit, already talked about that a little bit. A game I've never played before, didn't even hear about this. Kurian. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but that's okay. WarioWare Inc., Mega Micro Games. That's pretty cool. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is going to be coming soon. Metroid Fusion will be coming soon. Fire Emblem will be coming soon. F-Zero Maximum Velocity will be coming soon. And Golden Sun will be coming soon. So there's games that are amazing that they've announced for this. And there's games that are coming in the future that are even better. So Nintendo is doing the Game Boy Color, and GBA very, very right so far. But this is the problem with the Nintendo Online free game service is that, well, I should say free game in quotes, they start adding a whole bunch of stuff that's like, yeah, no duh, but then they stop supporting it and they stop bringing some other stuff to it, and then they start adding like the crappy shovelware games that nobody really cares about to them. But I'm hopeful. Hopefully that if you were ever on the fence about getting Nintendo Switch Online membership, hopefully this changes your mind, because now you can play NES games, Super NES games, N64 games, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games on there. Pretty much almost all of Nintendo's lineup is on there. The only things that we're missing is the GameCube, the Nintendo Wii, and the Nintendo Wii U, but most of the Wii U games that were first party got ported over. So it's really just GameCube and Wii games, but I don't know if they'd be able to do the Wii games. But GameCube, let's get it. And then a big piece of news that came out of this direct is Metroid Prime Remastered. Shadow dropped. Just no warning. Not even, hey, it's coming out this day. Nope, boom, it's out right now. Buy it, play it. I'm super pumped. I just beat the original Metroid on the GameCube. I think last year or 2 years ago or something like that. It's a fucking awesome game. The only thing that holds it back is the controls on the GameCube are a little bit weird. And it's just dated. That's really all it is. So I'm super pumped to play this on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I'm just really excited to play this. I don't know when I'm going to get to this, because right now I'm trying to get the Platinum in Dead Space remake. I'm playing through Hogwarts Legacy. That's going to take up the most of my time. So I don't know if I'll get to Metroid Prime soon, or who knows? But either way, it's great that they're doing this, and I hope that they do Metroid Prime 2 remastered as well. That'd be cool. And maybe the third game, that wouldn't be so bad. All right. The next big piece of news is they announced Pikmin 4. I'm certainly not the biggest Pikmin fan, but some people out there are. So, yeah, you get Pikmin 4. Yay, it's coming. Have fun. Another game that was announced was Samba de Amigo Party Central. Looks like a typical party game or whatever. But this is I'm pretty sure that this is like a remaster or something like that, or a re-release, because correct me, at anybody out there that remembers, correct me if I'm wrong, but this came out on the Dreamcast and it got re-released for the Nintendo Wii in 2008. I'm pretty sure. Maybe this is like a sequel to that. I don't really know. But either way, that's pretty cool. Another pretty big piece of news that came out of this was Baten Kaitos Remastered is coming out, which is, I'm pretty sure this is Baten Kaitos 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Eternal Wings and Lost Ocean is going to get an HD version for the Nintendo Switch, which is awesome. So as of right now, the only way to play Baten Kaitos is on the GameCube, and I'm pretty sure it is a lot of money. Pretty sure this costs a lot of money to play it right now. But the fact that they're remastering these two games and putting them out on the Nintendo Switch soon is awesome news. So now I can save my money. I can save my money and just wait until this comes out and be happy about that. All right. Next game, Fashion Dreamer. Basically a fashion influencer simulator where you get scored on your best looks. I don't know anything about this. Probably won't play it. A big, cool little piece of DLC here. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. I really like Dead Cells, but I never fully got into it as much as I wanted to. I bought the game on PS5, so I have it, or PS4, PS5, but I have it. I just didn't play it, but I'll definitely pick up this expansion because I love Castlevania, and just to, if I can go through Dead Cells in like a Castlevania format or whatever, or castle setting, that'd be really, really cool. They announced Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. It's basically a re-release of the 2010 adventure game. And it looks like it's coming out on all platforms, so that'll be cool. They showed some stuff about Splatoon 3, like an expansion pass, a DLC, I think. Yeah, the rest of these games are kind of I mean, there's a lot here, so I'm not going to read this whole thing, but there's a lot, and just to rattle it off, we love Katamari Reroll and Royal Reverie. If you like Katamari, that's coming out. Disney Illusion Island, that'll be coming out. Harmony, The Fall of Reverie, that'll be coming out. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, I know some people are excited about that. Fantasy Life 1, The Girl Who Steals Time. I might give this game a shot. I heard good things about the Fantasy Life series. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Course DLC, bringing in Yoshi's Island Course and Birdo as well. So, interesting stuff. Probably Nintendo's best direct. Well, hands down, it's been their best direct in a long time. So, Nintendo doing the things. And I'm going to get a sip of coffee because, my God, I feel like I talk so much. I mean, is there a better way to wake up than drinking coffee? I don't think so. Maybe if somebody's screaming in your ear, that's another good way to wake up. All right. So what are we playing? What am I playing right now? Slowly burning through Persona 2. I haven't really picked it up this week, but I still have it on the list, so I'm still going to talk about it a little bit. My goal is at least once a month. That's such a bad goal. but I got a lot of stuff going on right now. I would say, you know what? I'm going to set the goal right now. Once every 2 weeks, I'm going to go through one dungeon in Persona 2. And hopefully I can beat this game in a couple of months. And it's not that the game's bad at all. It's just there's just so many other games surrounding my life right now that are just grabbing my attention a lot more. So, yeah. I'm still playing Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask on the original N64. Yeah, the game's a little weird, obviously. I'm not. No matter how hard I try, the whole day and night cycle, it always rubs me the wrong way. And I don't like feeling rushed in video games. So whenever you put like a time limit on certain days, or you can only access certain quests or certain characters at certain days and times or whatever, it becomes very confusing for me. And I really would rather just play the game instead of like having to like look up a guide for all this stuff. But it's not a bad game at all. It's just not as good as Ocarina of Time so far. All right. I just finished the Dead Space remake. That's going to be the main topic for today. So I'll share my thoughts on that in 1 second. The last game I'm playing, and I feel like the last game everyone's playing right now, Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, I'm only 4 hours into the game, and the game is just the game is awesome. Like I really don't know, I don't know how else to say it. I thought the story would be a little. I thought the story would be whatever, but the story's actually pretty good. I'm actually enjoying what's happening. I don't really understand fully a lot of what's going on, but I'm interested in learning more. As of right now, the way I'm playing the game is I started doing the main quest, obviously, because that's what you start with. But then once the game kind of opens up a little bit, you can do like side quests here and there. So far, I've done about 3 side quests, but I think I'm going to mainline the Golden Path until a certain point. I don't know what point that would be. But I definitely want to get deeper into the story, unlock more mechanics and abilities, and open up that map a little bit more, and then spend more time in the side quests and open world stuff or whatever. But so far, the game looks beautiful. The combat is really, really fun. And what else? Yeah, I mean, it just looks great, which is so weird because this is a studio, Avalanche Studios. These are the people that made Cars for the PS3. I think it came out on, and then Toy Story 3, the game, which came out on PS3. So, they don't really have a track record for making big, expansive games like this. But fuck, they're killing it. This game is awesome. And it's not. It's the little things like that I'm actually really, really enjoying. So, whenever your character speaks, your name will pop up next to the dialogue, which is really, really cool because most of the time, when you create a character in these open world games and stuff like that, they don't really have your name. They don't even have like what the person says half the time or whatever. But just to see so just to write your name, like when you create a character, you basically put your name in. So whatever name you put in there, that's the name that shows up in the subtitles, which is really, really cool. So every day I get to see, oh, Andrew Meister just said this in Hogwarts Legacy, so it's pretty cool. What else? Is good about the game? Just I think just exploring the castle. I'm exploring Hogsmeade right now. That's really, really good. There's a lot of stuff in this game. A lot of collectibles, a lot of things to discover, a lot of secrets, a lot of puzzles and stuff like that. You know what it reminds me of? And I think it's kind of the reason why I love this game so much. It reminds me of the first time that I played Destiny when it first came out. Like, when Destiny first came out, even though it didn't have like a whole bunch of like secrets and stuff like that, there was a lot of stuff in that vanilla Destiny that was like so good that it kept me in that. I mean, I played the original Destiny for months. I mean, it was literally the only game that I played for like almost a year. I easily put in at least 500 hours into vanilla Destiny. And then when they came out with the raid, I mean, that changed everything for me. And I hope that Hogwarts Legacy kind of does the same thing. They don't need to have like these big multiplayer raids or anything like that, but it would be really cool and really fun to have raids that you could do on your own, but just with like a very beefy souped up character that you spend this whole, 50-hour experience building up and stuff like that. But this is all dependent on whether or not you like Harry Potter, whether or not you like the wizarding world and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I don't. I saw a couple of people are review bombing this game just because of the controversy with J.K. Rowling, but honestly, I kind of laugh at those reviews and stuff like that because um, you just sound dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I get trying to boycott something and vote with your wallet and all that, but I think people are choosing the wrong thing to boycott and vote with their wallet in this case. But people can do whatever they want with their time and their money. So who am I to judge? But either way, this is a fantastic game. A fantastic game. It's probably, I mean, already, it's probably going to win Game of the Year. And everyone's playing it. My brother's playing it. I got a couple of people at work that don't even like Harry Potter. They bought the game and tried playing it, and they really like it. So, I got a couple days off from work the next couple days or whatever after Sunday. So, I'm just gonna keep diving into this game, playing as much as I can, soak it all in, and yeah. I'm probably not going to do a review on this game for a while because I got to play the game actually. So yeah, that's all for Hogwarts Legacy. All right, now to the main topic, the Dead Space remake review. All right, all right. Um, so I guess I'll start with. I love the original Dead Space. I played it on the 360 when it came out. It's a really fun game, and I love survival horror games. And even though the original Dead Space is very kind of like linear in a sense, it's still a fantastic game. And what makes great survival horror games is item management, inventory management, sorry, is key. And it's got to have a good balance. And Dead Space always had that good balance. Scarcity in your ammo, Dead Space always did a really good job with that. But then once you like play the game and you know the mechanics and you know what to do here and there or whatever, it's not that hard to find ammo and conserve it and stuff like that. Exploring the Ishimura, the setting, it's always been great. It's always been terrifying, scary as shit. Just walking through the spaceship and then hearing like things crawling in the vents and stuff like that. And, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. And then the monsters in the game were always terrifying and scary. The variety of the monsters were always really good. They always managed to like keep things spicy. And then the weapons that you get, the weapon variety in the game, was just really, really good. And even though most of the weapons are kind of dog shit or whatever, the most powerful weapon you can get in the game is at the very beginning, which is the plasma cutter, and it's honestly just, the game is just too good to not return to the well on it. So I always had like a soft spot for Dead Space, and it was definitely like it's definitely like top 5 best survival horror games in my opinion. I think the one thing that kind of bogged the original Dead Space down for me were some of the puzzles, I guess, were kind of, I wouldn't say they were bad. They were just like, I gotta do this part. This sucks. You know what I mean? Especially stuff with like the sorry, the zero gravity stuff where you have to like target a flat surface and then shoot your way across that space or whatever. It's not like you can't like fly around and be mobile wherever you want to go like how it is in the remake. So there was definitely things about the original Dead Space that could have been better. And then I think as the series went on, Dead Space 2, they saw what was happening with Resident Evil 5. They saw a couple other games in the horror space that were like Fear, that were trying to go in a more action route. And that's kind of like where the survival horror genre kind of went in like that 2010, 2014 kind of era. Or yeah, like 2008, 2014 era. Is that all these like great scary horror games and franchises started going in a more action route, and it was fine for a while, but people eventually got bored of that and was like, this isn't horror, you know what I mean, like this isn't scary to us. So Dead Space 2, I think Dead Space 2 did a pretty good balance of having good action moments and some scary moments as well. So I don't think Dead Space 2 is as bad as a lot of people say it is. I would love to see a Dead Space 2 remake, or at least just change a couple things here and there. And then the Dead Space 3 game, I couldn't even beat that game. Like it's kind of a shame because I really want to play through that game and beat it, but I I played that game for about 3 hours and I said, nah, this ain't it. It's just not good. It was straight up not good. So when they announced this remake for the original Dead Space, I was very excited. Um, and everything that they showed looked pretty good. I had high hopes for the remake, and they didn't disappoint. The remake is great. All the things that I had, the problems that I had with the original game, as far as like the puzzles go, the zero gravity stuff, they fixed it all. They reworked it all to where you have free range to do anything with these puzzles. And the puzzles actually make a lot more sense now too. One of the puzzles they pretty much kept the same, but it's a lot easier to move around and navigate in or whatever. So that's fun. And I think that puzzle is when you gotta like connect the antenna again. Like you have to take out like the broken antennas and replace them with new ones. But instead of doing it like in a straight line, you basically have to. They have like connectors on these panels that like lead to a path or whatever, and you basically just have to match the path up basically. So that's fun. And then the one thing they reworked that I thought was awesome, and they just improved upon it really, was the shooting gallery in the game. So in the original, you would have a shooting gallery, and you would just shoot like dummy targets to get like a achievements or a high score or something like that. In this game, it's reworked, and it's awesome. It's not, it starts out as like a regular like dummy shooting range practice or whatever, but then I don't want to spoil it, but I am gonna spoil it. Yeah, so if you don't want any Dead Space spoilers, don't listen to the rest of this video. But what happens is you start off, shooting the dummy targets and getting the scores and stuff like that, and you're moving around the area, and then all of a sudden it kind of like glitches out, and you get like that warning flashing lights, and you're basically getting hijacked by these monsters. So you end up having to like almost play like a round of like Call of Duty Zombies, where you're running around in a circle killing all these monsters that are trying to attack you in an enclosed space. And it's really fast, really quick, and you get a trophy out of it, and it's cool. It's awesome. A couple of other changes they made was in the original Dead Space, the main character that you play as, Isaac, he doesn't really talk at all. In this game, he does talk a lot. He talk and not to the point where it gets annoying, but it is significant to where it's like, all right, now Isaac has a voice that I remember. Isaac has a face now that I remember. So, I actually really like it. It makes sense that he talks. I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of like silent protagonists in video games, because it's like I'm hearing you speak through text. Just put some voice in the game. What is it going to hurt you? Nintendo's really bad with this, but I think Nintendo just has a policy about that either way. But hearing Isaac speak in this remake, it's cool. I like it. And another little tidbit is whenever you like stomp on things in the game, like you can stomp on enemies to like, mush them up and get extra ammo and stuff like that. If you do it a lot over and over and over again in the remake, you'll hear Isaac curse. Like he'll say like motherfucker, or you'll hear him say piece of shit, die, die, stuff like that. It's really really funny. Another thing they kind of did with the remake is they kind of like reworked the story a little bit, and I don't it's not like they reworked the main plots or anything like that. They just kind of added on to it and kind of made it made a little bit more sense, if that makes sense. And yeah, but all the boss fights are pretty much the same. The only boss that's really different is the one Leviathan that gets attached to the antenna, basically, or I forget if it is the antenna, maybe. But you basically have to use the ADS cannons to kill it. But it was annoying as hell in the original because the tentacles would shoot out. You would have to hit the tentacles at a certain point with the ADS cannon. And it became very tedious and whatever. But in the remake, it's a lot better because you're not using just ADS cannons. You're basically in zero gravity and you're flowing through the space on your own. You have to connect your weapon to the ADS cannons, aim, shoot, and just rinse and repeat, basically. But I think the boss fight has just worked a lot better. It's reworked better. Most of the boss fights, other than that, are pretty much the same, 1-for-1 copies, which is great because the bosses in the original Dead Space were perfect. There's really no reason to mess any of it up. So that was really fun. I'm trying to think of one other thing that they did a lot. I think the sound design is way better, especially with the pulse rifle. Oh my God, like that pulse rifle is basically a very useless weapon in the game. But in the remake, it's so fun to use because not only does it sound like you're just like going to town on these enemies, but if you play it on PS5 with the adaptive triggers, like you can feel in the trigger that pulse rifle like bouncing up and down with your finger or whatever, and it's really really fun. It's really really cool. It's almost kind of like you're holding like an automatic weapon or whatever, or at least pulling the automatic trigger basically. So that's really cool. Trying to think of some other stuff they did. Yeah, they just added more stuff to it. All the suits. So in the original games, you can unlock suits. The harder difficulty you beat the games on and stuff like that. All those suits come back, and some extra ones that I'm not going to spoil. But yeah, the suits are awesome. There's one that's definitely my favorite. It you really only notice it in cutscenes, but it's really really cool. I'm trying to think of something else with the remake. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just it honestly is a perfect remake. It's better than the original in my opinion, and I have no reason not to give it a perfect score. It is on the Groovy Games scale, at least, it is a 5 out of 5 for me. There is nothing wrong with this game. It is perfect. I didn't even have any like bugs, no glitches, maybe a couple frame rate dips here and there, but it wasn't anything noticeable. And the game's flawless in my opinion. So it's perfect. It really is perfect. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end of the game, but for people who know, the original Dead Space game, the way that it ends, it scares the shit out of people. It has a very jump scary kind of ending, and I just want to be 100% clear on this. The way that they did that in this remake is fucking awesome. It is really, really cool. And I was like, they're not going to get me again. They're not going to get me again. Well, they got me again. When it happened and the credits started rolling, I clapped. Like I was clapping. I was like, fuck yeah, this is great. So yeah, just it's a fantastic game. And I didn't write up a write up review for it yet, but I am going to do that because I kind of want to touch on some other things with the game. Specifically, something that I guess is resonating more with me a little bit right now, is besides the video game stuff. Obviously, stuff in my personal life is happening, and it's definitely made it's definitely made playing video games a lot harder for me because I can't really focus on it for too long. I'll end up playing for a couple hours or something like that and just kind of get bored, and I have to like do something else. But so I couldn't like find like that game that would help me like get over some of the stuff that's happening in my life. But playing through the Dead Space remake, it's actually kind of been therapeutic in a way. Just because I feel like it deals with a lot of good stuff as far as like you know loss, relationship wise, and I'll have to a little bit more in depth on this or whatever, but there's a theme throughout the game that they keep saying, make us whole, Isaac. Now, the ship is basically consumed by this thing called the marker, and it's basically turning these people into monsters, essentially. And it's basically like they base this marker like off of their religion that they've created, and it's kind of like a commentary on Scientology, but they call it unitology in the game. And so their whole mantra for ascending with the marker and becoming one with the marker is basically, they say, make us whole. So throughout the game, Isaac's girlfriend, that is on the Ishimura, she works in medical. She basically, you talk to her throughout the game, and she basically just tells Isaac, make us whole, Isaac. You're the one to do it. Make us whole again, and this and that or whatever. And if you're going through like a divorce or a breakup or some type of loss or anything like that, I feel like this game, at least for me, is definitely therapeutic. In kind of like a weird sense, because it's like yeah, you're going through like some emotional stuff or whatever, but then all that like anger that you feel and stuff that's pent up in you or whatever, you can just take it out on the monsters. You know what I mean? So you can like shoot the limbs off, just stomp the shit out of their bodies over and over again, and just, I don't know, I found this game to be more therapeutic now than it ever was in my entire life, which is probably why I give it like a perfect 10 out of or perfect 5 out of 5 score. But yeah, man, Dead Space remake, it's fucking awesome. If you're not into survival horror games, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry that you can't experience it, but if you love survival horror games, go play this game. It's a must play in my opinion. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But that's pretty much the show I got for you today. We don't have any questions that got submitted this time around. So it's kind of a long episode here, but at least it was worth it. You know what I mean? We talked about some good stuff here. I had fun. You had fun, I hope. Let's do it again next week. And hopefully by next week, we'll talk about the Eagles winning that Super Bowl. Hopefully. All right. This has been episode 5 of the Groovy Games podcast. Thank you so much for your continued support. My name is Andrew. Stay groovy.